Hey folks, welcome back to Funniest People Pod. I'm Peter, this is Todd.
Hey everyone.
And we are in for a great episode today. The fantastic and funny Rachel Marsh is here, referred to us from Aaron Branch. You can see both of those people on Unstable, still streaming on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we're right in the thick of season 2 of Funniest People Pod. Todd, how's it going for you so far?
I don't know, because we haven't released any episodes yet, but I'm going to say we're fucking killing it.
We're great. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're stacking up episodes and make sure that,
Peter has to go away for a while. We're not going to say where, but
yeah. What if I die? Would you still,
well,
that's where I'm going.
We have 10 episodes. We can.
Perfect.
Actually, we do get into death with Rachel, so this is appropriate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the best advice is know when to leave.
Yeah.
Rachel's a fantastic guest. And you know what? We have a fantastic sponsor for this season.
Yeah, our sponsor is Bamco, still Bamco.
Bamco!
I'm holding up the hat. I'm wearing the hat. They gave us 2 of them. We're going to get our money's worth. Bamco creates merchandise for your business, for your company, to give to your customers, your clients, and get their name out there. So go to bamco.net.
Bamco!
I'll edit out the space.
You know what's great is we do talk a lot with Rachel about the first time that we met, and it was on a cruise line, which is not where you meet a lot of people.
Not that you keep in touch with a lot of people. You might meet them and be like, never talk to me again.
This episode is fantastic, but we couldn't fit everything into the episode, so make sure you join us for some exclusive content on Patreon. Find us on Patreon. What's our Patreon?
Yeah, patreon.com/funniestpeoplepod.
Patreon. But hey, since you're here, finish washing those dishes, make that bed, do one more lap on the track, and put another 45 on that weight, on that chest press, and listen to our chat here.
We have a huge bodybuilding community.
Oh my gosh, they
our
love
fan
it.
base. Yeah, the analytics are all about.
Oh, insane. That, and also crank up the volume, because we're gonna sing and hang out and chat with the very funny Rachel Marsh. Enjoy.
There's no singing.
I'll try.
I'm good. I was just driving so chaotically, and have you?
That's what I do all the time. Somebody told me don't drive angry. That was like their advice to me, and I was like, I'm always
angry, and I'm always driving. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to see me on the streets on Cahuenga.
Yeah, but you got here safely.
I got here safely. Yeah.
That's good. I got in a car accident.
Oh.
Last January, in fact.
Like a big one?
Yeah, messed up my spine, to be honest.
Oh my
God. I had to go to a chiropractor, physical therapy, the whole thing. Didn't have my car for a couple months.
That's not funny at all.
No, it's not.
I'll cut it.
That's awful.
But have you been in a car accident recently? You say you're a bad driver, but like...
I'm a bad driver, but you know what? I have this reoccurring nightmare. This is not funny either. This is a different podcast now. I know that how I'm going to die is a car accident.
Oh my.
How do you know?
I don't know. You know how you just know things? You know how you're going to go? I know I'm going to get in a car accident and die. Or run someone over.
Which would you rather do?
Well, I'd rather die because...
Yeah. Murder-suicide.
Easier to live with.
Well, actually, yeah. Because what if I ran you over, okay, and say you're dead?
Yeah.
And then say I go to jail for the rest of my life.
I did not...
That's 2 deaths.
That's 2 deaths, yeah. I did not... Well, jail is like the absence of life, right, is what you're saying?
Sure. But yeah, I just know it. I just know that's how I'm going to go. And so it's been every day of my life, as I'm angrily driving on Cahuenga, just been like, is this it?
So then every time you drive, it's a triumph.
It is. You're right.
Good for you.
You look at things a lot differently than me.
Well, hey, look who's here looking at us, Funniest People Podcast viewers and fans. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We've got the fantastic, the wonderful, and, the always charming Rachel Marsh. Rachel, welcome to the program. You are very funny. You're a fantastic actor and improviser, and it is an absolute pleasure to have you on the program.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and Todd's in the outfield. Todd, what's up?
Yep. Not on camera.
No.
Not on camera. Don't even look over there.
Yeah.
Make sure you're talking to the microphone, but do not look over there.
Sorry.
We have 3 cameras. We could afford it, but Peter was like, no.
No, yeah.
All of them need to be on.
One on me, a second one on me, and then another one on you.
Yeah.
All right. 2 on me.
Yeah.
Just how I like it.
Yeah. Oh,
A
hey.
multicam.
Sure. Yeah. I love a multicam too.
Yeah.
When I first met you, it
I was just going to say, what about the first time we met?
the craziest, coolest experience ever. which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But you are, we know each other from that, but also you were referred to us from the very funny, the fantastic Aaron Branch.
Who?
Exactly.
We can cut to a clip and see if you recognize
Yeah,
it.
let's cut to a clip. Yeah. Here you go. Is there somebody that you have in mind that we should interview?
I think I mentioned her earlier, but she's very funny, and I think you guys know each other. I think Rachel Marsh would be
Yeah.
a really good addition to the show.
Oh, I love Rachel Marsh. We worked on a commercial together.
I think she'd be very funny.
She's hilarious. She's great.
That's the first time Aaron's ever said anything nice to me ever. like literally, he used to beat me up.
That was the nicest thing he's ever said about you. You said?
Yeah, he's never said anything nice to me. We met when we did the table read for the first time of the show that we were in, which is Unstable. And he automatically we became best friends. So I genuinely love Aaron with all my heart. But he's never said a nice thing about me.
Well, he
but
talked
he's a
about,
good
he was
actor.
from the world of roasting, so I think
Yeah.
saying nice things isn't his.
No.
He doesn't show love that way.
He doesn't show love.
Yeah, he doesn't. You know what? Now that he's not here,
Now he's not here,
we can say anything we want about him.
Yeah, and he's
can
not coming
gossip
back,
about
so
Aaron
he has
Branch.
no rebuttal.
and he's never coming back.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, we don't have repeat guests.
Oh, okay.
Once you know,
Let's get into it.
Once people are introduced to you, then they know about you, and then
Right.
that's it.
And then we're famous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Well, after this, you become famous.
exciting!
your life's gonna change.
Your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is waiting for you outside.
It's already there.
I mean, yeah, pick
Oh
it
my
out.
God.
Where do you want to be next to? Madame Tussauds or the Live Mas Taco Bell?
Oh, I have to pick one of them.
Yeah, they sell alcohol at one of them.
Okay, let's do it. Let's
right.
do that. Can anyone have a Hollywood sign?
A Hollywood star?
Yeah.
I
No
think-
sign.
No sign. Yeah. Only one person has a Hollywood sign, and that's Dr. Hollywood.
Okay, yeah.
He's a doctor.
Got it,
He
got
didn't
it.
go to 8 years of Hollywood school for nothing.
He didn't want a star. He
No.
wanted a sign.
He's like, I want a sign.
No.
Let's talk about how we met. It
Yeah.
was it was the best of times.
It was the
Let's say at the same time. It was the
Those are
best
the
of
best
times.
times.
It was
the
the
worst times.
cruise of times.
This is cruise of times.
It was the cruise of times.
The cruise. We could have a whole podcast on the cruise.
And this is it.
And this is it.
This is the pilot. This is the pilot.
Yeah.
This is it.
So as I recall, it was fall 2019, and one thing-
Pre-pandemic.
Yes, pre-pandemic, but not so far from pandemic. I think Italy was starting to cough.
Right.
Remember?
That's right.
If you
Yeah,
remember,
Italy was trying to cough.
it was starting to cough. And let me say this: my introduction to you, I was like, that is a very cool person.
Really? Wait.
Yes.
What was it?
And before you even walked into the room, I was like, wow, ultimate respect for this woman. So we were cast in this commercial for
Yeah.
Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yeah.
I'll say it, Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yeah.
Uh,
You were
and-
casting it?
No, I was cast in it.
Oh, okay.
For an improviser, you're a terrible listener. And
You casted this commercial?
I casted it. Yeah. That's how I made it.
We
but
made,
anyhow,
wait,
we
hold
get
on.
cast.
We made probably $700 from this,
Oh,
right?
God, not
Tops.
a lot. They renewed it. I don't know if your renewal check got in, but that was pretty good.
Oh, I don't remember that.
So then, sorry.
Okay.
So this non-union Carnival Cruise Line
Yeah,
commercial.
yeah.
And I'm just gonna get to the part where I
Yeah.
got to
Yeah,
know
get to
you.
it, yeah.
And basically, it was like, hey, Rachel Marsh is also in this. By the way, 30 commercial actors, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Christopher Guest movie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
On a
absolutely.
cruise line, that's happening.
Yeah.
Rachel Marsh is in this, and she's not going to be here for the first couple of days. She got put on a Herald team.
right.
And so you came in late, and I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations. That is so.
Good. That's when I first got on Herald Night.
I would not, I'd be like, yeah, where do you, at that point I would have been like, oh, sorry, I got to miss this, but,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
you were like, I want to make my Herald debut.
Yeah,
and it was such a big
yeah.
deal
It
at
was.
UCB.
It
So,
was.
tell people, what
so
Herald Night
funny.
means and what UCB is all about and what it was getting on team there.
UCB, you also
Mm-hmm.
you also do a lot of. Did you come from UCB or did you?
Yeah, I
come out
performed
of
there.
UCB?
Come out, I was birthed
Yeah.
from Matt Besser's.
It's just
but-
it is the place where you find your voice as a comedian. For a lot of people, me
Mm-hmm.
included, and your confidence and really any success that I've had in the industry has come, I think, first out of that stage. Honestly, got a manager from there. Got, like I said, just found who I was. And so on Herald Night, I had been, I think, going to when you first find improv, it kind of has to consume you in a way of like you have to go to shows every night, you have to like take the best classes, you have to form these indie teams, and like it really is all you like eat, sleep, breathe for like 3 years of your life, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you finally make a Herald team, it is kind of like the culmination of all of this work that nobody really talks about or like cares about except for you and this network of like 100 people.
Yeah,
you know?
you know, at times it really feels like, you know, pick your favorite analogy, but it feels like you're in the middle of the hurricane or like
Yes.
you're out to sea riding this wave.
Totally.
Because, you know, you're talking about this path of 3 years and then you get this great
Yeah,
stage
yeah.
opportunity. And none of it's paid. In fact,
None of it's
you're
paid.
paying more,
Yeah.
you know, for classes and
Totally.
sessions and, you know, all
Right.
these things. And, you know, it can feel like
Yeah.
its own like little world that like
Yeah.
it's hard to explain.
Totally. And my point of view has always been, though, and this is why I took the commercial too, is like, of course I care about Herald Night, but I also like that's not all I want to do in
Right.
this city. You know, there's lots to do here. So like, of course Herald Night was like such a big deal to me, but I was also like, and I'm going on that cruise. You
Yeah.
know, like,
And I thought
I got to do that.
I thought it was so cool, and I was like, wow, this is such a like badass,
Yeah.
like awesome woman to be
Yeah.
like, hey, you know, I'm gonna do this. Thank you, but I'm also gonna do this too because this is also important to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, it's not always easy. I don't know if that's like a balance thing. That's a lot of good things happening at once.
Yeah.
But to be able to be present for both,
Yeah.
an absolute magic trick in my opinion. You know.
Yeah. But the cruise, Peter.
Yeah, okay, we get into the cruise,
Let's
yeah.
get into the cruise.
Okay, 30 commercial actors on a Carnival cruise.
Oh my God, yeah.
While the cruise is happening. It's like 7 nights, but the cruise is happening.
Yeah.
And it's not that you showed up late to the cruise, like they helicoptered
No,
you
no,
in.
no.
Yeah, I was wondering how that
Yeah.
happens.
It was like, hey, we were all flying from Chicago, New York, LA
Yeah.
to Miami. We were there in Miami for a few days for fittings.
Right.
And you were like, hey, you dropped in on the last fitting day,
Yeah.
which is fine. You know, I think all this was just an excuse
So
to be
funny
in Miami
that you remember
longer.
this. I barely remember this thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess so. Yeah. It was like it was like a traumatic experience, though.
Wait, for you?
I mean, yeah, this was like this. I'm no stranger to Florida,
Yeah.
but I was like, wow,
Okay.
this is such a cool, unique experience.
Yeah.
This may never ever happen again.
Sure, yeah.
And I met so many funny people and
Yeah.
so many like. Okay, so you're coming in late. What's your set like?
Well,
or what's your vibe like?
Okay, so I did come in late, and I will say it was like high school where it's like, oh no, everyone already made friends.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, so then I had to be like, really like flirt with everyone. I had to just be like, Whitney, do you remember Whitney?
Yes.
I was like, Whitney, you're gonna be my best friend.
Oh.
I just was like, I was a little desperate. And so I was like, let's just go to every meal. Let's be best friends in this whole commercial. Like, let's go to the pool together every day. Let's have mimosas every morning.
Yeah.
Like, so that was my experience of just being like, I was a little desperate to find people.
Well, that's fascinating because who we're talking about, Whitney St. Hours,
Yeah.
director and actor out of New York. Everybody there was very talented.
Totally.
She has like this big, great personality.
Yeah.
And so, great person to like be friends with and like, kind of, befriend and latch
Yeah.
onto.
And she likes drama, and I love drama. And there was a lot of drama. There's a lot of people. There was a lot of
Yes, there was a lot of drama. At one point, okay, so I want you to recall the drama that you remember.
Yeah.
I will recall the drama I remember. At one point, there was an actress who was like, we were in Miami, and she was like, oh, I wonder what my room's going to look like. And someone from production goes, if you treat this like a vacation, you're fucking done. Says this at dinner in front of everybody. Whoa. Isn't that intense?
Whoa.
Isn't that intense?
What were we supposed to treat it like work?
No, because gives better context.
How is it like work?
I mean,
Yeah.
the commercial, it's a commercial and, it's work and, treat
Yeah.
us at whatever, be professional. But also, it was like, there was no lines.
No,
there was
yeah.
no dialogue.
Yeah.
It was just, hey, you're a family over here
Yeah,
and you're having
yeah.
fun, and you're, some girls that
Yeah.
are on a girls trip, you're having
Totally.
fun. No dialogue whatsoever.
No.
So what are you supposed to do other than stay out as late as possible?
No, yeah.
So when you
Go to
wrapped at the
casino
end of
every
the
night.
shoot day, you
Yeah.
could go drink or
Yeah.
gamble or live your
during
life
the day.
as long as
Really.
you were.
If I wasn't in the commercial that day, I was playing bingo.
Yeah.
Oh, what a gig.
yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of bingo every night. That's what I was doing. You guys
You
were at
were
the
going-
casinos.
Yeah, I was in the
bingo.
casinos.
Yeah.
I was splitting kings. I don't know why I was doing that at blackjack. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Peter lost money on that
You
job.
did. Yeah, there
My
are per diems.
Oh, my per
Yeah, he's
diem.
like, can I get the 700
Yeah.
now?
Can I get an extra 700? Rachel said I could have her 700. Like,
Yeah.
she's in the bathroom now. I'll
Yeah.
bring it to her.
Peter's taking all the drink coupons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another thing. Is
Yeah.
like we were shooting this while the cruise was happening, so there were real families
Yeah.
that spent real
Real
money
families,
here,
yeah.
God.
and there were people in production that were like giving out drink
Yeah.
coupons
Yeah.
so that they could, so
The
that some people
extras.
could vacate that area.
Yeah.
Insane.
I know. And our casting director came on that cruise, which is
He
so
did.
funny. Bill.
That never happens. That never
He
happens.
just hung out.
What a sweet guy.
Yeah, I know.
Did the cruise go anywhere or just like it floated around?
It went places, but we were not allowed to go.
Oh,
so
you couldn't get off.
We would be like, great, we're in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
gonna go play some bingo. Right? Like, because obviously, like, they wouldn't let us.
You played bingo around the world.
I did.
And you never left your
I
seat.
did. You know what? Do you remember the stand up that was there? There was this guy who did stand up,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like another act, right? There's like a singer.
Yeah.
Would you ever do that?
I auditioned for a different cruise line.
Okay.
And then the contract was like 8 months, and I was like, I would not like that. I would not like that.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
There was a scene that we shot that was at the stand-up club,
Yeah.
and we were like faking it for karaoke.
Yeah.
Simple to do. And I don't know if you remember this, but it was a non-union shoot, as we mentioned, and this is proof of it. They wanted to have a smoke machine,
Yeah.
but somebody had forgotten the smoke machine on land, so one of the PAs just decided to vape at everyone's knees.
What? I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
That was I think that was part of one of the scenes. This is why it was so traumatic
Oh
to me. I
my-
was like, I think it was traumatic because like I
That's
get
so
I
funny.
get motion sick, and I'm like, we're moving all the time, you know,
You get motion. Why did you go on this cruise?
for that sweet
$700.
cruise money, baby. Yeah.
Someone had told me right
I
before I,
got
went
cast
on.
in it, yeah.
Well, yeah. Someone had told me right before I went on this cruise that they have a whole floor dedicated to dead bodies. Have you
Oh.
heard this? So like, there's like people on cruises who die a lot. Which,
Can
did
you
know
whisper so they don't hear you? Yeah.
That? Okay.
You might wake them up.
So there, but I looked into this.
Every
it's
cruise
true.
ship has a
Every
floor?
cruise ship has a, what do you call it, morgue. Oh. So there's, and I think this is true, that when
believe you.
people die a lot on cruises, like old people, you know, because old people go on cruises and they're like on all these trips together, they just
Yeah.
die because people die.
Right.
And so they happen to be on a cruise, and there's a morgue, and then they can't touch it until they get back to like their place of residence, until like their state or whatever.
Oof.
But isn't that dark?
That is
So
very
when we
dark.
were when we were playing bingo,
Yeah.
there was
You were
someone-
playing bingo.
there was
Everyone else was
active-
drunk.
Okay, there was someone down there probably.
Wow.
They didn't even tell us about.
We'll get back to the
Yeah.
projects that
Yeah.
you've worked on since,
Yeah.
but when you find yourself, auditioning for these big projects,
Yeah.
what's the mindset?
My mindset, okay, it changes a lot.
Hmm.
It used to be like to book the job. And that still is. You know, my mindset is always to book the job. But then this sounds so actory, but I feel like I have discovered over time that the jobs that I book are the ones that I'm like not pushing for anything. Does that make sense? Like if I'm, auditioning for like a superhero thing or whatever, it's like obviously I've never been a superhero. So I can't push to be like, oh, I know what that is and I'm going to fit into that box of superhero.
Right.
Which I feel like, method actors or whatever, it works for them. But I have found that like over the last couple years, I'm like, I think that like writers, producers, casting, like anyone is like looking to like just like have their project make sense,
Yeah.
So like if I come into a project and I make sense of it in my own way or whatever, then it's going to be less I don't know, it's going to look less fake and feel more authentic to me. And then I don't know, that's just what I'm always trying to do is like make it make sense to me. Whether that's
Yeah.
like a comedy, like a sitcom comedy, which is already very straightforward, or like something like sci-fi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the copy make sense.
like make it come to me a little bit, than like
Yeah.
me reaching for it out there and just trying to make it come here. Yeah.
Right. Is that in a sense like, okay, this is what I can do with that?
Yeah. I
and
guess
internalize
that's
it?
like, when casting's like, oh, just like be yourself, which is like the worst thing to say because I don't know who I am,
Sure.
I actually have no idea who I am because it's like I'm different people in front of different people, I have like 18
Right.
versions of myself. So if I can make it like make sense to me and I don't have to like fit into some kind of narrative, then I feel confident, I guess.
What an incredible thing to say.
Yeah.
And another triumph.
Yeah.
Because, you're talking about having it make sense to you, internalizing it,
Yeah.
and doing your best work. Where I imagine, coming from Seattle and being part of competitive cheer,
How did you know that?
We spend most of our budget on research.
Peter, that's crazy.
But at the same time, I imagine that
Yeah.
is competitive.
So funny, yeah.
Competitive,
Yeah.
and those, as a kid or, growing up
Yeah.
as a young adult, I imagine most people that you performed with,
Yeah.
kind of like keep
Yeah.
those mentalities through adulthood,
Yeah.
right?
Competitiveness I feel like is a part of this industry that people don't really talk about because we like to ignore it, and just say it's not there. And I guess it's like simultaneous with like jealousy and all these like negative things, but like it's not inherently bad to like want to succeed, it's not inherently bad to like have that in you. And I think like, I guess, I don't know if it came from like cheerleading or whatever, but I've always just been someone who like wants to, I guess, push myself in that way, and like see if I can do it. And see if I can book something. And I don't know, if I don't, then it's like, well, I should have never been here anyways. I don't know. That's kind of my mentality is like, you know what? I'm going to try to do it. If I can't, then I have other parts of my life that I have fulfillment in too.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of words do you use other than like failure? Because you're talking about like trying different things and like, hey, this is nothing but using time. And then, if I'm not good at it, it's not a failure. It's just like, all right, well, that was that.
Yeah, I guess I don't really think of it like that. Like I've never really thought of it. I guess I don't think of it as that.
Yeah.
I think maybe I have a little bit. I think you have to as an actor. You have to have a lot of like confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think every single audition that I turn in, I'm like, I'm gonna book that.
Yeah.
Good. Do you?
Yeah, you got to.
You have to.
I'll either, if I audition for something, I'm either like, okay, I want to do my best in my version of this, or I'm like, whatever, this is what they're gonna get,
No, totally, yeah.
And, and everything I've gotten hired for is like, hey, that guy seems like he's gonna be cool on set for like 12 hours.
God.
This is the best actor we can find. Yeah. We have so many guests from all across the globe, Canada, the South, the East Coast, all over. Yeah. We've had a few Seattle guests, and I want to ask, like, what's a Seattle tendency, or like what does it mean to be from Seattle as it pertains to like your personality?
Oh, that's such a good question. I don't know. I actually think of like Seattle is a small town because I didn't grow up in like the city. Right. And so I think it's just, synonymous with a lot of other small town like tendencies. And like, I just went home this last weekend, and the thing that I noticed the most is just like, there's a lot of, this sounds so stupid. There is a lot of unclaimed land. There is a lot
in the
of
Pacific
land.
Northwest?
Yes.
There's a lot of land in the Pacific
there's
Northwest?
a lot. I think maybe I've been in Hollywood too long, but I'm like, oh, there's so much potential. I'm like, there's so much land here. We could build a lot of buildings.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think like,
you are so much more successful than me to be even thinking that. You're like, wow. Where can I map out some land? Land. I've got a patio.
I just like go
Peter
back
notices
in time.
if there's Taco Bells in the area.
Yeah,
land. I'm like, there's so much land here. That's what I think about. Like people just have acres. Like their houses have acres in small towns. So
oh yeah.
I don't know. I think something that my personality wise, I don't know. I guess I like having space. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like in LA, I just feel like overwhelmed a lot of the time by like how much there is to do here. Like, and that's a good thing too, right? But in a way, I'm just like, there's limited choices in smaller towns of like things you can do, and like you can be a little bit bored, and like you don't have to like always be up to something like you do here. And I think I kind of miss that and wish that was more part of my life every day.
Yeah. That's like, you're talking about a lot of interesting things there. You're talking about, FOMO, like there's a lot to do, and maybe you're not doing everything, but also coming from I'm coming from Florida, and everything there is not so much cookie cutter, but we have more chain restaurants there per capita.
Whoa.
So every city is identical, right? We got Chili's, Applebee's, always at war with each other, a Cracker Barrel,
Classic,
which is silly, and then all the Hooters you could want. So many Hooters.
And I want
And I know you're a big Hooter head. Not a lot of people know that. You're a hoot.
I'm a Hooter.
You want that land so you can build a Hooters compound.
8-story Hooters.
Yeah, that's right. You're the last person that uses Hooter Airlines, and that's how you flew there and back. But
Oh my God.
but when you sometimes the type of music that I listened to that I
Yeah.
grew up on was like punk music talking about the monotony of suburbia.
Yeah.
But then also you grow up and you realize I need a routine to ground myself. And
That's true.
So kind of like, where are you at with that? Like what's a healthy routine for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Especially when projects, could be flying you
Yes.
to a city you're not familiar with.
Wait, I love that. Well, it's not really travel, but my routine that I've come up with right now is I'm like, so I've been waiting. I did this part of this job like in November, and then I'm finishing this job for the next 2 weeks
Cool.
of now. So I'm like in it right now. And in the meantime, I was going crazy because I'm like, I don't know, because you can't you can't do another project because you're booked,
Right.
but you just have nothing to do because you've obviously like created this life for yourself where you're available all the time.
Yeah.
And so they've been shooting since October, November, and we're wrapping at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And so,
And you had to put on all this weight.
Yeah.
In the meantime, like Robert De Niro in Raging Bull, you're like, they're gonna give me a couple of months, and I got to put on all this muscle
Wouldn't that
now.
be so fun? I would actually love. That would be so fun.
That
If I had
would
to
be-
either gain a bunch of weight or lose a bunch of weight. that
Or
would
get
be-
taller.
Or get taller. They never talk about that.
I know.
No.
In
Yeah.
Hollywood, that's what
In Hollywood,
the
yeah.
adrenochrome goes to.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes you a little taller.
No, totally.
Okay, so you've got this gap.
Yeah, gap time. So I was
Yeah.
like, what should I do? And I did. I took up gardening,
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh.
been so much fun. It's been very grounding. And it's just been like this ritual that I do every day. And I have all my little plants, and I eat my herbs, and I go and kind of like pick at little brown spots, and it's been fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And no wonder you're looking for land. You're starting,
Yeah, I need more herbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how
Yeah.
fun.
That's been like a ritual, something I do.
One thing that we've been talking about here are, fun activities to do in between work and then, grounding activities.
Yeah.
And in LA, it can feel like, I don't know, a little lonely at times. Like, do you have
Yeah.
Aaron was saying that there's like a group chat.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
you guys have a group
Yeah, yeah,
chat
yeah.
for Unstable, but
Yeah.
do you have friends that are like a core group for you that you
Yeah.
kind of check in with?
Oh my
and
gosh, yeah. I
friends?
think it's so important to have friends outside of the industry. So all of my college friends or just like neighborhood friends or like improv friends or like people who like don't do this every day,
Yeah.
like friends from home. And my family, honestly, my
Yeah.
sister is like my best friend. And yeah, I guess my hobby is my sister.
Does she
My
live
hobby
out
is
here?
sister.
Yeah, she lives in Pasadena. She's a nurse. She's a Filipino
Oh.
nurse. Yeah, so
She's a nurse. That's so
she's
cool.
a nurse. Yeah, she's very cool.
Have you seen The Pit? Do you want
Oh
some
my God,
Pit?
I love the pit.
The Pit's so
Do you?
amazing.
54 mm's of Elenade. Whatever it is.
You're hired.
Yeah.
You're
How
hired.
would you fit into a show like that, acting wise,
Oh my
like
God,
with
I
that
would-
type of dialogue?
Oh my God, I would love that. I think it's so fun. Like, I watch it with my sister because she's a nurse, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's true. Like that guy would die, and I would not revive him. Or like I would, it's just like it's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Are
love
you
the pit.
Are you a donor? Like an organ donor? I'm not.
I think I am.
Okay.
Prove it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
With the
yeah.
way that you talk about the way you drive, I mean.
I know I should
you should
be
know.
right.
You should know.
I should know. I should be. I am. Yeah, I am.
This is going to be the first podcast we end with text me when you get home.
Yeah, text me. Yeah, please. Text us when you get home. Wait, speaking of the end, 3 final things.
Yeah.
Improv nerds are watching. What is some improv advice that you could apply to a day-to-day basis?
Oh, I love that. So day-to-day basis.
Like a day-to-day lifestyle thing, but it's improv advice.
Oh, okay, that's fun. I kind of know know when to get out.
Yeah. Know when to get out.
Know when to get out. So it's like, in improv, it's important to know when to come in and like help your scene partner out or whatever, or like do something funny, like another like callback or whatever. But it's also important to know when to get out. You don't want to be there for longer than you need to, or like be a part of a scene that you didn't need to be in. And in life, hey, do your own thing. I'm always getting out. I'm always canceling plans. I'm always, in and out of a party. I'm a big fan of Irish Goodbye.
Yes.
I'm just like, just if you don't want to be there or you don't think other people want you there, get out.
I love an Irish Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, and number 2, tell us about some of these fun projects that you're working on,
Yeah.
like short films and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
We shot the morning show. That'll come out in September.
Nice, that's great.
Yeah, it's really fun. I get to be Jen's assistant this season.
Ooh, exciting.
Yes. Got to do some fun. She's down to improv. She's obviously there for a reason. She's so talented.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
always memorized. She was so amazing.
Wow.
And then I'm in this show coming out next month. I'm really excited about. I'm just a small part of it, like in 3 episodes, but it's called Adults on FX. It's Nick Kroll's new show.
Cool.
It's gonna be so funny, just like a bunch of like 20-somethings in New York, and
Fun.
yeah, really smart writing, and but yeah, this is the shows I'm working on, and yeah.
And you said you're working on like a K-pop type of thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm working.
And
on
then is that going to be, do you want to make that into like a short film or like a feature? Or?
That's just like one of my writing friends who's
Great.
is way better of a writer than me. But yeah, I'm shooting a short film this next month actually. Lamorne's gonna do it. I'm
Okay.
very excited. Yeah, we're shooting that. But yeah, I'm always trying to do stuff in between jobs. And,
Fun.
you
Where
know?
can people find some of those projects? Do you have like a website or anything you could draw people to?
No, I
or?
don't.
Okay.
You'll just have to stalk me.
What's the Instagram?
In Instagram, Rachel Marsh. Yeah.
Rachel Marsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a name. And then last thing before we leave, we ask all of our guests to refer somebody that they think is funny that we should have on the program. Who's a funny person that we should feature here?
Okay, I'm gonna say Chris Aquilino.
Okay. How do you know Chris?
Also from Unstable.
Great.
Oh, nice. We
I
can keep
know.
We're working our way up to
know.
Rob
Do you
Lowe.
not know Chris?
I don't think I do.
Okay, Chris is so funny. Also half Filipino actor. Was in like Silicon Valley. Like
nice.
he's also one of those people you look on their IMDb and it's like 60 credits. You're like, whoa,
Dude,
I should
that's-
know like this person.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that you don't know Chris, but he's not famous.
He's one of the funniest people you never heard
Yeah.
of. And Rachel, if people haven't heard of you, they know
Yeah,
about you
yeah.
now. So thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Peter.
And,
This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for watching. Check us out on Patreon for some exclusive content. But and then go stalk Rachel Marsh. Thanks for joining.
right.
Take care. See you next time.
Bye.
Funniest People You've Never Heard Of is a production of Toby or Not Toby Productions. Executive producer Todd Fields, producer and host Peter Murphy. Studio space provided by Third Wheel. Theme song written and performed by Justin Fields. Sponsored by Bamco, more than just merch. Don't forget to like and subscribe and find us on Patreon for exclusive content.